Hey, I'm Charlie, and this is Benjamin, and we're the Griers. And today we want to talk about a question we've gotten a lot, and it is, what are you doing about health insurance? And that's a good question, and one that we're happy to talk about. And so we were lucky that before we even went into this journey, we had friends who had talked about an insurance that they were using, and honestly, we were thinking about switching over to this insurance before Benjamin even quit his job. So if he were to stay with his previous employer, we were thinking about ditching that insurance and going with this insurance. And it's technically not called insurance.
Right.
It is basically, but it qualifies as insurance, and it's called like a share group.
Share group, share plan.
And it is through Christian Healthcare Ministries. And so far, we really like it. And you want to talk a little bit more about the specifics, how much money how much it costs our family?
Yeah.
We're really open about all that stuff.
Sure. So we had looked into it, like I said, a year ago, didn't feel really confident in the idea of a share group and not the guaranteed payment for the insurance at the end of last year when we re-enrolled. So we held off on it and we're researching it more this year. And again, sort of at the advice of two friends that had been using it, learned a little bit about how it was used more than we could get information online. And so the way really it works is I am an entity, Charlie is an entity, and the kids are an entity, so you have to pay per entity. There's 3 different levels of coverage you can get. I'm not familiar with all of them, but we went with the best coverage. It's $150 per entity. So our insurance is $450 a month, or our share plan. And they don't call it a premium, that's our pledge each month. We do incur the responsibility to negotiate all the pricing. So before we make an appointment or anything, we notify them, let them know that we're private pay, and then negotiate the pricing on everything from there. Ask for discounts and things like that. But anything that's over $500 is shared amongst the group, and I think that they pay out about $3 million a year. So it's not a small group; it's a large nationwide group. And that's shared. Anything that's less than $500, we're responsible to pay. It's not a deductible though. So if I had a medical bill that was $1,000 and negotiate it down to $600, the share group pays the entire $600. I don't have a minimum amount that I pay, but every thing that I pay would come out that's less than $500. And you sort of sign saying that, hey, if I got a $700 bill, I'll still try to negotiate it, get it below the 500 and help it for the group. And when the group has names and it's other people in similar situations, that feels a whole lot better than just pay all this money in insurance. So our pledge is $450. When we got the notification from the insurance company that we were leaving, that hey, you can keep it, you just have to pay us the part that your employer was paying, it would have been over $1,400 a month. And so I think it's pretty awesome that we've got coverage for our family for $450 a month. And then the only other thing is we don't have prescription, anything with that, but through GoodRx, we actually, with the one reoccurring prescription that we have for our family, we're able to find it for as low as $8 for a 3-month supply, which was less than we were paying
With our insurance.
With the insurance. So a little more work on our part, but we've learned a ton about it. And it just sort of feels good to be really intentional about something like that.
And I can tell you, we spent a lot of money last year on medical expenses. And I think if we had been on this insurance plan, we would not have paid nearly as much, because last year we had to pay for a broken arm, a home birth that our insurance would not help cover at all, a wig for Presley, and this feels right. And so we feel really comfortable with it so far. And we do have a referral code, so if you decide to go with it, reach out to me and I will be happy to give you our referral code, and we would appreciate that. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about wins, and we don't really want to call them struggles or losses, but things that maybe have been difficult this week. And so do you have one that's really...
I'll start us out. So the wins and really sort of what I'm seeing, right? So it's been a month since I've been home. Is really God sort of showing me this idea of like bringing your family's heart together. And so like I've seen things in my sons and daughters that I didn't see before. And you know, just my presence being here, my influence being here for a month, really over a month, because I didn't work a lot in the last 3 weeks. I'm beginning to see some of those things. Example would be like me and my oldest daughter, who we're similar, both sort of stubborn and hard-headed, came to me after we had argued about something and apologized. Doesn't happen a whole lot. I've learned like how to approach my son with certain things, and you know, do things that he finds encouraging. And so like I've gotten just impromptu hugs from him, which is really, really awesome. I think the struggle is after 4 weeks, and I think I alluded to this a little bit last week, is this idea of like I feel like I'm ready to go, or I need to be going to do something, that there's something more important, and it's still just the idea that and I know it's not true, but that like there's something more important outside of the walls of this house for me. And you know, it's still really clear that there's still a lot that my influence and my purpose here that has to be done, that still hasn't been done. But I'm beginning to feel like, oh, I want to go. And you know, in conversations with people, you know, people are like, well, you looking for a job? Are you still like, what's the plan? And that's beginning to, where before it was like, no, I felt really free in saying that. Now it feels sort of like, what are they thinking? Like, you know, like I'm beginning to worry more about what people think. And that's just, you know, it's just the lies of a spiritual enemy to throw me off of you know, pursuing my children and my wife's heart. But it's real.
Yeah. I'm going to start with my sort of, I guess, struggle, and that is starting to have doubt and my faith being tested a little bit, because this week, even with Benjamin, I said, you know, what if we get to the end of our savings and God doesn't show up? What then? And, you know, I think it's really important that I share those moments with him, because he was able to pick me up and you know, help me just sort of change my mindset on things. But those moments are real. I don't want to pretend like we're just without a care and that we're not worried about some of this stuff. We are. But I've also, and this is my win, is that I'm reminded that I don't know how long this season is that God has Benjamin to stay at home. And it may be something that works out for the next year or two. We don't feel like this is Benjamin's purpose. Like, we feel like there's something that's, you know, he's supposed to do. And maybe a couple of years when the kids are a little bit older and life is a little more manageable at home by myself. But it also could only be lasting, you know, for another 2 or 3 months. We just don't know. And I sort of was struck like I need to really soak up this time. This is a blessing that God has given us. And instead of letting fear and worry take away this time that most people don't have, I need to look at it as an adventure and something that is way out of character for me, and just really soak it all in. So that's, I feel like, the adventure part. Like, we're not the type of people that just go do things. Like, you know, quit your job and let's just stay at home. But it feels good to listen to God and let him sort of dictate what's going on. So it's been a good week. Mm-hmm. And we are looking forward to some exciting news to share with y'all next Saturday. And we are going to have a really fun family challenge to share with y'all on Wednesday. So you don't want to miss either one. I hope y'all have a great week, and we'll see you next time.